So, I wanted to discuss an important topic. Well, it's not really important because nobody gives a fuck about it, but let's discuss it. Climate change. It should be a worry in a certain sense. Imagine that we live in a big house. The big house is our planet, the world, right? And that house is in danger of changing the ecosystem based on the climate that is warming up. That means that when the North Pole and the Arctic that's gonna warm up and start melting. Oh shit, what happened now? That it's gonna warm up and start melting. It's gonna reveal some things that were frozen underneath, like superbugs, and might cause pandemics and other bacteria and viruses that we're not prepared of. Or some ecosystem might just cease to exist, and because the food chain functions in a symbiotic way, everybody's going to be affected by it. Natural resources such as water might become scarce, oxygen might change, and everything gets up. But I was pounding on the fact, like, why should or would a person care about something that is so much greater than them? I'm hot as hell and the AC is not working, so excuse my sweating. And my answer to this was, how can a person that lives already within this small own set of universe care and connect to something that is much greater than themselves, just like the world? Some people have things within their house that festers and can't even get rid of it. Like, you have a hole in your house and you're gonna fix it for years, but you're being told to care about the planet, which is impossible. People will end up, killing themselves eating a bunch of fast food, even though they have a history of high blood pressure and cholesterol, because they taste good. No matter if you tell them, if you keep on eating that, you're going to die in a couple years. They're going to take their chances because the possibility of impending death is easier to roll with than, okay, I'm going to die tomorrow. And we also have that ability to rationalize things, kind of like, smoker that sees a dead baby on the pack of cigarette and is like, well, thank God that's not me today, and I didn't start as young as that baby on the pack of cigarette. And you rationalize the possible effect of like cancer. Or maybe you'll be like, hey, I know somebody that's still smoking and 95 years old, so if they're smoking and being fine, I'm probably gonna take my chances and like get that nicotine into me. You feel me? So yeah, asking me, do I care about climate change? I'm just a human being, so caring about the global space that we live in is hard. I do care about my access to some natural resources. I don't want to have to pay to get good oxygen. So I can say and lie to y'all and say I care about the climate changing because I don't really see the effects and the direct effect that it has on my daily life. But I have some concerns. So I'm informing myself better, and I also do certain things, not on a great scale. Well, first of all, I don't eat meat and fish anymore. And a great deal. But apparently them cows produce, what's the substance they produce again? Methane, right? So they eat and they fart and produce methane that goes into the ozone and fucks up, what protects us from those UV rays, which is kind of crazy. Cows have super gas, which I think is insane to think. They're kind of like superhumans. But, no, humans, super cows, whatever. You get my point. So, I think, in a general sense, people have more opinion on matters than they really care about things. So everybody has an opinion on everything because people confuse the beauty of freedom of speech to just have an opinion, just wanting to say whatever you want to say, regardless of you having context, knowledge, or a sensible understanding of the topic that you want to discuss, right? So all of that to say that it's hard for people to being in people's throat about, oh my God, care about climate change, recycling, and all that things, because people gotta have first being able to care enough to fix their own life. Because I think for every problem that we have on a global scale, and for everybody to be sensible to things and really care about other topics that are bigger than themselves, it starts from a psychological perspective, right? People have to psychologically self-reflect and be in a place where they want to do good things out of the world because they are in a good place within their lives. I think it's hard for people to really care about some of the things outside of their world if they have other things to care about. You know, like if you don't know that you're gonna feed yourself or feed your kid, and you're telling somebody, hey, stop eating that, or could you please recycle, or it could be, it's a luxury to be able to think about things outside of your spectrum because of the society that we live in. So what is the point of this video? The point of this video is to say that, yeah, there's some great shit that is happening in the world and we got to be conscious. But people got to fix their room before they can be conscious about those kind of things. So yeah, climate change is happening. It's important. I mean, I see it on the little small level, and I'm not being an hypocrite. I ain't lying to you guys. I ain't gonna say like, oh my God, I'm a climate change activist. I don't really give a fuck like this. I'm more sensitive to it and more conscious about it also because one day I'm gonna have kids. I don't want my kids to live in a world when they gotta wear gas masks and we live in a dystopian area and they can't even get potable water, right? I want my kids to be able to run freely and breathe the air that I breathed before and not have to worry about catching some weird ass cancer because the oxygen is polluted. So that concerns me. I'm not that concerned about myself, but I'm concerned about the life that I'm going to bring out to this world and how the world that we live in is going to be, right? So why, I don't eat the food that I used to eat. Just because I just found out that the salmon that I love, because I love sushi, my man. The salmon that I love poop himself in fish farms. My salmon eats shit, and then I ate it, and that blew my mind. That blew my mind. I was like, what am I actually eating? Right? So yeah. As human, we only care about the things that are really close to us. And people love to have opinions and virtue signal others and act and pretend like they care. Like, something happened in Syria and somebody's gonna post it on Instagram. So I'm like, oh my God, people died, but they didn't do any action related to actually caring. Maybe finding a foundation and sending that money there, or imagine like somebody shoots me and you offer to fixing me being shot. Is like, all right, let me get that. Let me get shot some exposure. Hey, you got shot. Let me share a little story. Like, hey, pray for shot. I got shot. Like, the exposure ain't gonna fix my wound. And it's fine. I think we just, as a society, gotta be less hypocritical. It's fine if you don't care. And then focus on the thing that you really care about so you can make a change. Right? And if we agree that we don't really give a fuck about things, we can stop having an opinion that is senseless and just have nuanced conversations. Because I also think social media kind of like poison that. Like, people just share the opinion but are not really able to communicate. Because things get lost in translation. Like, you share a comment, somebody responds, and just try to prove their point. And conversations are nuanced, right? There's different layers to them, right? And you can only get to them when you communicate using language with the person. Get to know their point of view, where they come from, and what they're trying to say. You feel me? That's a long ass video. I'm gonna have to chop it up because I know where I'm posting a 10 video on social media in a world when you guys have a fish memory and can only absorb TikTok segmented content. But that's also an issue because we can't have proper conversation on a minute-long video. And I'm sweating. It is hot. See? Climate. No, it's just my AC up. Alright, I'm out.